everyone, this is Dan. I just want to let you know I made the mistake of sitting in the wrong chair when we sat down to record, so you're going to hear my chair creaking a lot while this episode goes. Thank you and goodbye.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Sonic Shuffle, a random and holistic Sonic lore podcast, wherein I, Morgan, am the student.
And I, Dan, am the teacher.
And Dan, we're talking about Archie again.
Yeah.
So much Archie for this podcast.
I mean, it is probably going to be the single longest thing just because Archie has been going for, I think, Archie was the longest running Sonic, not just Sonic, but the longest running licensed comic in comics history. Plus we are throwing in the IDW stuff, so that includes stuff from the last few years as well.
Damn. Then maybe it's a good thing we keep getting it. But, so we're talking about, 16 to 19 issues?
Yeah. Issues 16 to 19 plus the In Your Face special, making a total of 5 issues. I thought about including 20, but it went on a bit, and also, the second half of issue 20 is a prequel to the Sally miniseries that we'll probably cover the next time we roll Archie.
And speaking of Sally, it looks like she is trapped in the corner in the front of this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, I don't like looking at this on my phone because it doesn't have ad block, but it's a lot easier to keep my microphone close to me if I don't use my computer that way. There's all this horny shit because it's just all this these wild commercial things in between comics, and I'm like, why?
That sounds utterly miserable.
Sexy cartoon.
Hey, what if Wilma Flintstone had her titties out?
Damn. No, it's Family Guy woman. Fuck, what's her fucking name? Lois!
Right. Lois Griffin.
It's Lois! Hey, Lois! That's right. I'm sorry. Let's talk about Sonic and not Lois.
Yeah. So, let's see. Hopping over to my notes. Okay. This first story is called Sonic Under Glass.
Sonic Under Glass! I'm funny.
Sonic and his friends have apparently defeated Robotnik just off screen. And 6 whole months have passed.
Sus.
And now he and Sally are getting married.
Extra sus. Sally's a fucking lesbian.
Yeah.
To me.
Antoine's pretty upset about this because he wants to marry Sally. But it turns out Dr. Robotnik has placed Sonic and Pals in a VR simulation and is feeding them visions of all their greatest desires and wishes.
Except not Antoine's. Only Sonic's desires and wishes, not Antoine's.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
So, yeah. Robotnik's now terrorizing Mobius in these giant steamroller-esque war machines. And what you just brought up is exactly the problem. Because now Antoine wants stuff, and the simulation's starting to change to meet Antoine's desires. There's like, Sonic suddenly becomes a janitor, and Antoine's getting married, and then, like, a simulacrum of Uncle Chuck and Mutsky, who is Sonic's dog.
Sonic is a dog?
Yeah. In Sad AM and Archie Sonic, he has a dog named Mutsky. Mutsky got turned into a robot.
Oh. This is like the goofy Pluto problem.
Yeah. One day, someday, we will get to a point that sort of pokes fun at this. But it's a long ways away. But for now, Sonic has an uncle and a dog, and they have shown up in the simulation in their non-roboticized forms to tell Sonic that he's in a simulation.
They're all fixed. What if it was... So I read the next comic thing wrong, and I was like, what if it was Sonic Underclass? What if Sonic was our underclass hero? Sonic the proletariat hero.
Thinking about it now, I think Sonic's official and seemingly official socioeconomic status is like he's a nomad. He just does not participate in society.
God, I wish so were me.
I think, like, in this continuity, he technically kind of becomes royalty. He's definitely on the side of royalty.
Can't believe Sonic's a monarchist in Archie comics.
Yeah. So, Sonic is now realizing he's in a simulation, decides he's going to, like, hack into Robotnik's computer systems, because if he can make all of his desires come to fruition, he can make a computer he can hack into the simulation with.
Sonic's like, I'm in.
Yeah. He, like, hacks into the war machines and tells them that he'll use them to destroy Robotropolis if Robotnik doesn't let him go. So, like, of course, Robotnik doesn't want that to happen, so he kind of lets them go. They still have to, like, escape on their own, but they're out of the simulation. And just before the story ends, we see Dr. Robotnik ordering around the mindless, roboticized versions of Uncle Chuck and Mutsky.
I've been slimed. Can't believe they say Disneyland in this comic.
Oh, yeah. Wait, oh my god, did they say Disneyland?
Tails says, better than Disneyland.
Incredible.
When he's being dumped out of the slimy simulation tube.
Out of the LCL fluid.
Oh my god. What if Sonic piloted a giant robot?
What if Sonic piloted a giant robot?
It wouldn't be fast enough for him.
Right.
That's more of a Tails thing, I think.
Yeah. So we get a second story that I did not really get or understand. It seems to be Dr. Robotnik coming up with a bunch of plans, and then a spy parody happens. I really didn't get this one. To the best of my knowledge, it has no bearing on the canon.
I feel like it's probably a reference to, like, maybe a spy movie or something. Like, maybe it's just, like, heavily, like, referencing James Bond, from what I can tell. And, I mean, it even says man from Hedgehog, and Hedgehog with, like, spelled out with, like it's an acronym.
Right.
Let us know what a good acronym Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Let us know what Hedgehog stands for.
Why don't you send that in? sometime between this episode and next.
Yeah.
I would have... But yeah, that's the bulk of issue 16. Issue 17 is a weird King Kong parody about Dr. Robotnik as trying to get this robot he built when he was a grad student. And it's a big King Kong robot named King Gong.
Thinking about going to school with Robotnik. I mean, I guess this was pre-eggization. That's not what it's called. But still.
Nah, he's just always been evil in this. Well, wait a minute. I just remembered. He does get a backstory, and we'll have to get to this version of Robotnik's backstory someday.
Oh shit, I didn't realize it was different for some reason. I think I was conflating the UK and US comics. My bad.
Mm-hmm. I don't really have much to say on this King Kong parody. It happens.
He's golden.
Yeah.
There's like big bananas for some reason.
Eventually we get to the backup story, which is the one that actually has some plot relevance.
Weird. Weird that the backup story has the plot relevance.
Yeah, Sally's recounting her childhood and how she was friends with Sonic, and she was being raised to be the next leader of Mobius. And when Robotnik took over, her father mysteriously vanished. And while she's contemplating, a comet suddenly lands. She and her friends all go to check that out.
And her father's inside it. No, I don't know.
Not yet. But it is.
I was joking.
Well, Sally's dad will come up more as time goes on. But for now, Sally has found an orb. It's weird and it's glowing and it's pearlescent and it's an orb.
Orb.
So we move on to issue 18. Our first story is Wedding Bell Blues. Sonic
Another
and Sally.
marriage? Damn.
Yeah. They're getting married again, but for real now.
No!
Robotnik decides to crash the wedding, and there's like a big fight scene between Sonic and the robots. We also see like other members of the Royal Guard that Antoine was in training for.
Oh, I love this little bat robot. It's very cute.
Yeah. I don't remember its name, but it's in like the Marble Zone, I think.
It's got angry eyes. It's just like a little pink bat without a mouth.
There's a big fight scene, and at the end of the story, it's revealed that they weren't actually getting married. They were actually acting out a play about two characters getting married.
Oh.
Sonic starred in The Marvelous Marriage by Al Funkhoot.
It's funny.
And then we get to another backup story that has plot relevance. This arc is titled Princess Sally's Crusade.
What?
So...
In the still of the night. Princess Sally's Crusade.
We see Sonic and friends checking out this weird orb they found. And...
Orb of Confusion.
And then this chipmunk named Rosie, who has never come up before, but seems to be like some sort of like servant for Sally, has her go over to talk to her old mentor. What was her name? I have it written down many times. Her old mentor...
Julia?
Oh. Yeah, I think it's Julayla?
Julayla.
Yeah. Yeah. Her old mentor, Julayla, she talks about how Sally was trained in all of these, like, academic and physical things, and how she had this one thing she was never able to overcome, where she had to grab an acorn from Julayla's hand, and how finally Sally is able to figure out a way to catch the acorn by knocking it out of Julayla's hand and grabbing the acorn. And Julayla's like, "Excellent work, my dear. You understand. You are ready. Farewell, beloved one." And then she dies.
Tragic. God.
This is Ken Penders trying to write plot.
Love that. It's the side story with the plot, though.
I also just really love that they're introducing these characters who have a close history with Sally that have never been brought up before at all.
Yeah. What the fuck?
They just exist now, and one of them no longer exists.
Like, great job giving us a character to care about, except not really, because she's dead. That's a strange choice. I assume we're gonna see her, what is it called? Her like, servant, her whatever, like, more?
Yeah. I honestly don't remember how much, or if at all, Rosie comes up.
Good writing!
Yeah, the story ends with Sonic just, like, comforting Sally over what happened with her old mentor. And there's a whole thing about how the next story is continued in the Sonic In Your Face special. So the Sonic In Your Face special is divided into 3 stories.
Oh, I don't see that.
Yeah, it's not in, like, the main comic listing. I can link it to you if you need me to.
Yeah, as long as you describe it.
Yeah. So, the In Your Face special is 3 stories. The first is picking up where the last issue left off, with The Quest. Sonic and Sally are combat training when Rosie shows up again to talk to Sally. Rosie tells Sally that Julayla left everything she owned to Sally, and she takes Sally to a storage room full of Julayla's old possessions. Some of the things Sally finds are a vest that she will wear for the rest of the series, a photo of herself with her father, who, once again, mysteriously disappeared, and a map with instructions.
I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map.
That night, Sally wakes up to, I guess, what must be orb noises? Because the orb is glowing, and then
I thought you said org noises, and I'm like, what's an org? Is he trying to say orc? Is there an orc in this?
Nope, just orbs. The orb is glowing, and it reveals its true form. Nicole! Nicole is a handheld computer with an AI in it that Sally can talk to and is sort of Sally's main companion.
You know, other than all her other companions, like Sonic and Tails and Rotor and Antoine, I guess. You know, fuck them all.
Nicole is Sally's new friend, and Nicole shocks Sonic when like, Sonic tries to, like, shake Nicole to figure out what's going on with that. The next morning, Sally sets out on a map quest.
Man, Sally, you should use Google because MapQuest is out of fashion.
Sally must attain oneness of the soul, and to do that, she needs to go to the Forbidden Zone.
Very creative.
Yeah,
I'll show you my forbidden zone. Sorry.
Oh, no.
I will not.
Yeah. The Forbidden Zone is a place even Robotnik fears to tread, and she needs to do this alone. But her friends show up anyways, and she's got a vest and a cool headband and a computer. So they sort of like fly out to the edge of the border to the Forbidden Zone and skydive out. There's like a big wall. I think it might actually be part of the Forbidden Zone, not a divider. Like, there's a bunch of SWAT bots like patrol along the border to the Forbidden Zone. But like, when Sally and friends like actually go in past the point of no return, they just cease firing because they might as well be dead. And so they go into the Forbidden Zone, which is a fantasy dungeon by someone who has GM'd for the first time.
Oh, hell yes. Oh, man. Tell me your fucking Sonic class, like what classes they would be.
Well, Sonic is... The obvious answer is Rogue.
I was thinking Rogue, too.
Yeah.
Maybe a Bard.
Maybe a Bard, just because he's got that attitude. Maybe he's multi-classing.
Very performance-y.
Tails. Well, I'm trying to think of all the wide variety of RPG classes I've heard of.
He could be an artificer.
Yeah. Tails being like some sort of artificer or... Oh, I'm trying to think. Maybe... Let's see, this era of Tails I don't know, but I feel like I'm just gonna say, just to pull a random example of different RPG classes, Tails is the Squire from Fellowship.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, from what I know of the Squire.
Also using Fellowship, Sally is obviously, I can't remember what it's called. The Heir, that's it. The sort of like Lost Royalty class. Rotor is... Oh, what was that?
Maybe he's
a rigger.
Artificer. Oh.
Rotor is a rigger from Shadowrun.
Okay, yeah.
Which of course makes Bunny a street samurai.
Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, the half-robotization like really fits in with the Shadowrun aesthetic.
Yeah. The Forbidden Zone is a place that even Robotnik is afraid to tread. But it's just these 3 trials. The first trial is a robot Cyclops. And thanks to Nicole's help, they figure out that the solution to this monster is to stop moving until it shuts down because it uses motion detection.
Wait, are these not robots that Robotnik made?
They seem to be like weird biomechanical things.
Huh. Interesting.
The next is a griffin. Tails finds a sword in a stone and he pulls it free. And by doing so, it turns off the griffin's mobility circuit, turning it off, just making it unable to do anything.
And Tails is now the new heir.
For their final trial, they face off against a 2-headed dragon. And it's the whole one only tells truth, other tells lies puzzle. Sally immediately figures it out. And they like say, "Oh, you are wise beyond your years, little princess."
Alright.
Just love this
Loving this fantasy bullshit.
Yeah. They finally get to the treasure room, and there's this mysterious scroll with words of wisdom written upon it. And then we suddenly cut to the future, where Sally, who's many years later narrating about how important the bit of wisdom Julela left for her was. And we find out how, in the future, everything's right and good, and everything's right, and Sonic and Sally are married, and they have kids, and Sally's dad is back, and it's all good. And
my man is obsessed with Sonic and Sally getting married.
Thanks, Ken Penders. We find out Nicole's origin as of this continuity, which is Rotor builds Nicole and sends Nicole back in time for Sally, and that's why it was in an orb.
Okay.
I
Sure.
love it. There is, I was recently reading from Thanks Ken Penders, Bobby Schroeder's blog, where she writes about Archie Sonic, and so, another, possible origin for Nicole, in true nature to, the goofier style of the earlier comics was, Nicole being, mail-ordered. I also know that, in the reboot era of Archie, they come up with yet another new explanation, which is, we'll get to it when we get to it, but I'll say it for now, which is that, in that version, it was, a robot companion built for Sally. Well, not robot, I mean, computer with a special, hard light hologram thing going on.
Oh, I think you told me about that, the hologram, Nicole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the words of wisdom were, "To thine own self be true." And that's what Sally went on her Orb Quest for.
Great. Good.
The second story is a very silly one. Well, no. It's kind of silly. It's Sonic and Tails Sonic and Tails goes after a SWAT bot with a computer in the mirror zone, and the gimmick of this story is there's mirror text, and you have to hold it up to a mirror to be able to read it.
That's cute. That just reminds me of how in Cyber Chase, the cartoon, there was no one could figure out a puzzle, and then they the piece of paper puzzle, they accidentally threw it, and it landed right perfectly to show up in a mirror.
Huh.
So that they could see the full word. I don't know why I remember this so specifically. I haven't seen Cyber Chase in at least a decade.
Yeah, I have a similar thing where the thing I'm suddenly remembering about Cyber Chase was they had a puzzle where they had to figure out a mathematical solution that the hacker couldn't come up with, and it was making a triangle with angles you can't actually make a triangle with. Or with lengths you can't actually make a triangle with.
God. Oh, I remember that one too. They were kind of magnetic, and yeah. That's so strange that I remembered that right now, but there you go.
So the third story of this special is Tails' Tall Tale, where Tails makes an appearance at Sonic Con.
He is normal length tails. They're not tall. Sonic.
Yeah, and he makes up a story about how he beat up a big, strong frog, but it wasn't really like that. And then Robotnik shows up and Tails has to beat him in a fight for real. He, outsmarts him.
Good. Glad he doesn't die to Robotnik.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
And we move on to the last issue for today, issue 19. The story is Night of 1,000 Sonics.
There's so many Sonics.
Yeah, this is into the Sonic verse.
God.
Sonic and friends see one of the alternate universe portals open up, and out of it comes a half-roboticized Sonic in a leather jacket. When I say half-roboticized, I mean split down the middle. he tells Sonic that in his universe, Robotnik turned all the freedom fighters into cyborgs like him, but because of this, they were actually able to do better against him. So, in order to fight against this, Robotnik made himself full robot instead of, like, weird pseudo-cyborg situation.
Oh my god, they're all like half, like they're all split down the middle.
Yeah.
It's funny.
This ultimate Robotnik is such a huge threat to the universe that Cyborg Sonic, like, had to, like, go to Sonic Prime to tell him about it. And then they recruit as many alternate universe Sonics as they can to fight the Robo-Robotnik. There's this big splash page of all of them. There's, like, just Sonics upon Sonics.
There's like a muscle Sonic, and like, yeah, there's a lot of pop culture Sonics. Like superheroes and stuff.
Yeah. There's a Beetle Sonic.
There should also be the Bug Beetle Sonic. Caveman Sonic, Space Man Sonic, Top Hat Sonic, Pirate Sonic, Wizard Sonic. Wizard Sonic looks stoned as hell.
There are so many Sonics, it's incredible.
Is that a mummy? There's a mummy Sonic.
Yeah. I think there's... Let's see, there's an astronaut Sonic, there's like...
Yeah.
There's a Clint Eastwood Sonic.
Oh no. Buff Sonic.
Above all else, there's like Buff Hulk Sonic.
Yeah, Buff Sonic.
Who's got like Hulk pants because he's big buff Sonic. So like Sonic gives this whole like speech to all the Sonics, and then Robo-Robotnik and his dark SWAT bots show up, and they have a big fight. And then Robotnik Prime sees this, and he's like, "Oh shit! I can't let this other version of me take over. I want to take over." So he sends out his own SWAT bots, and they have a big fight. The hologram of Robo-Robotnik is like, "I'm gonna destroy the world. I'm gonna destroy everything."
I love an evil good guy team up.
Yeah, there's like a evil, like Robotnik and Sonic have to team up to like beat Robo-Robotnik, and like there's a whole bit with the big Sonic, and Robotnik explains that Robo-Robotnik is probably going to be going after a sort of magical artifact called the Giant's Hand, and it'll give him infinite power. It's located in a region known as the Neutral Zone.
Why does he want the, like, emeralds if he has this unlimited power, giant hand, ass, gauntlet, Thantos gauntlet, ass?
Yeah, it's basically the Infinity Gauntlet, and I honestly don't know. Like,
he's got to get the emeralds to put into the gauntlet, obviously. No, I don't know. That's very weird.
He needs to be able to do Orange Justice for 10 hours straight.
Fuck, true.
It is occurring to me, like, the emeralds, like, up to a certain point in this continuity are, like, different in a very specific way. Like, there isn't only 7 Chaos Emeralds. It's more like there's just a specific type of magic rock that's located in various places called a Chaos Emerald. And I think in, like, this era, they're all green. I don't recall 100% or not. It's just the byproduct of, like, having limited access to what lore was available in, like, the early to mid-90s.
Yeah, fair.
So, Robotnik decides to respond to this by getting evil Sonic on his side.
He's here! He's back.
He's back again, and it's about time, too, for this member of the DK crew.
His, leather jacket is, the same color as Robotnik.
Yeah, huh.
Hang on a second. Sorry.
Yeah.
My mom's... Hang on. Yeah, so his leather jacket is the same color as Robotnik for some reason. This is unimportant.
Yeah, it's... I guess they're just using the same way to color black by using, blue shading, I guess.
Yeah.
So all the Sonics go out to the neutral zone, and the neutral zone is, in black and white, and the book says that you should just, fill in the colors yourself with your markers.
But the neutral zone has no color. Why would we ruin the illusion of the neutral zone with our markers?
I guess because it's a book for children.
True.
So yeah, they find the Giant's Hand, they find the Infinity Gauntlet, and then Evil Sonic and the SWAT bots show up, and they fight a bit, and Evil Sonic is able to teleport the Infinity Gauntlet away to Robotnik, who has it turn into a giant robot called Giant Borg.
Oh shit, it really is Sonic and a Gundam. And then, oh my god, crossover. Oh, cool robot crossover.
I mean, if anyone's gonna be using mechs, it's definitely Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, Dr. Robotnik and, Tails in certain continuities.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, he uses a lot of mechs throughout the history of the Sonic franchise. I guess this is the first time we've talked about one of them. So, he's got the Giant Borg, and the Sonics are back in the Freedom Fighter HQ, I guess, lamenting their loss. And then Sally talks some words of inspiration into them about how if all the Sonics band together, they can beat Giant Borg. And that's what they do. They all attack Giant Borg at the same time and are able to beat Giant Borg, breaking it into a whole bunch of pieces and reducing Robotnik to just a head.
Yeah, and the image of all the Sonics attacking, it's just all these blue balls just ramming into it. Some of them with faces.
Yeah. That's kind of an issue that any 2D drawn Sonic media has to deal with, is figuring out how to render the Sonic ball. Last week with Sonic X, where they had to make it a weird CG thing. Sometimes they draw his face on the ball. So the cyborg Sonic takes the Robotnik head and goes back to his dimension with it for safekeeping. And Robotnik's yeah, I've got all these parts, I can put them together into one big robot again for me. But then all the Sonics are no, you're not doing that. And they all go back to their own dimensions, each taking a piece of the Giant Borg with them.
Curses foiled again and again and again.
So that ends that story. And I think that covers Sonic for this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, next time we roll Archie, we're doing issue 20 and the 3-issue miniseries on Princess Sally.
Sally, yeah.
Yeah. So, let us see if we got any asks. I know we got at least one.
We got one on Twitter and one in the Ask Zone.
Oh, cool. Let's go with the Twitter question first. As a reminder, listeners, you can send in questions either by emailing us, responding to our tweets, or joining the Discord and posting questions at your leisure in the Ask Zone. So, our question on Twitter is from Jasmine Marsh at Pidman. If you had to parody modern comics with Sonic crossovers, what would your variants of choice be? So, like, if you could choose a Sonic that was like a modern comic character, what would it be?
Could it be webcomics too? Because
hell yeah, webcomics are a valid medium and should be respected.
Let me disrespect it and say there's gotta be a Homestuck Sonic. I'm sorry. I know.
No.
I know. But if there's gonna be webcomic Sonics, there's gotta be a Homestuck Sonic. Even though it's arguable if it's a whatever.
Is Homestuck Sonic a troll?
Probably. I feel like that it's kinda like the strange, like the thing they introduced. Even though there's like a bunch of other stuff. I'm not as well versed in Homestuck as maybe other people listening might be. But
yeah, I know some basic stuff. I read it until like 2011, like right around when the Alpha Kids were introduced, and I got tired of reading pester logs.
Yeah. That's about where I read too also. And then let's see. I don't know, like a lot of like printed comics that I know are like one-off things. They're not like superhero comics. Like there were like ones that people make like they're like Fun Home. That's not really like conducive to a fun Sonic reference, well, I guess.
I guess I'd go with Funny Deadpool Sonic.
Oh, yeah, Funny Deadpool Sonic. That makes sense. He kind of slots right in there.
Yeah, instead of talking about chili dogs, he talks about chimichangas.
It'd be a lot of the same. It'd be a lot of the same as the ones in the 90s, honestly. Like, they might make, like, instead of just, like, an astronaut Sonic, they might make, like a futuristic ski Sonic that looks like an iPod. Or both. They might have both, but,
yeah,
and then they'd have
like a Wolverine Sonic in here.
Yeah, and there's a Batman Sonic, and like that's all stuff that's still around, I guess. And that's like still kicking for better or worse, like I don't know. Except they would be like it'd be like Dark Knight Batman, so he'd be like, "Where is he?"
Yeah, sure. What I'm thinking of is like an Archie Sonic. Not Archie Sonic as in this Sonic, but like one based on Archie Andrews.
Riverdale Sonic Real.
Maybe it's Riverdale Archie, and he's got big muscles and becomes... I only know about the first 3 seasons of Riverdale, but like maybe
it's more than I know.
Maybe he's got that like superhero thing he had for a bit, or maybe he's like just really buff.
Would there be a Buffy Sonic, like a Sonic that like hunts things? Dude, that would be fucking cool. Actually,
absolutely. Vampire Slayer Sonic, of course.
Yes. I feel like there's like some really obvious like. But I'm just, like, not thinking of them. Like, Pokemon Trainer Sonic. I don't know. Sonic is a Pokemon.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next question. From Discord user Marshmallow. They say, "Oh man, if there's a whole Sonic multiverse, what would your ideal Sonic verse that should get to be a thing?" So I guess wider breadth for this.
Oh, I mean, that's a tough one, right? Like,
Right.
that's why I was like struggling. I was like, I don't know. Well, I had already said like Pokemon Trainer Sonic, which is not a comic thing. Although I guess Pokemon Adventures is a thing.
Kiryu Knuckles.
Kiryu Knuckles.
Or possibly, I just was thinking of something, but it's...
Oh my gosh.
Skateboarder Sonic.
Oh man. I mean, Skateboarder Sonic exists, kind of, with like his soap shoes.
Yeah, and he does... There is like this thing in Generations where one of the power-ups classic Sonic can get is like a skateboard. It's only used in like 1 or 2 stages, but it's there and it's fun. So I think that wraps it up for this week. So why don't we roll for next week?
I can't think of any more media, even though I love a lot of things. So yes, let's roll for something else. It's like they all leave my mind when...
Rolling. Oh my god.
Don't tell me it's Archie again.
It's Archie again.
There's no way! There's no way it's Archie again. You're lying to me. I know you're not, but like, holy shit.
Do you want to reroll?
Why do we keep getting... Why do we keep getting 3s? Yeah, just because
Yeah, why don't from now on, whenever we get the same thing again, we do a reroll?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, huh.
Everyone, let us know if that's cool with all of y'all, because that makes it technically less random. What'd you get?
So that's a 5, so that's Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. We're doing that again.
Okay, yeah, sure. We will never get the games.
Yeah, it's wild how I've never been able to roll like a 1 or a 2, which are the game ones. I guess 9 also if you count Boom.
We got Boom once.
Yeah.
Maybe like your dice is rigged.
Yeah, no, maybe I should try some other dice.
That old tabletop superstition.
Yeah, maybe I'll just like use a random number generator next time.
I don't know. That might. I feel like I don't know.
Who knows?
Don't get the satisfying rolling noise though.
Yeah, I do enjoy rolling a die. But until next week, I'm Dan. You can find me at a lot of places, and you can find all those places at linktr.ee/Mike_Dawson with a 0. From there, you can find my Twitter. You can find the other 2 podcasts I'm on, which are Strangers Fiction, an actual play podcast, and Pot of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. We recently hit 100 episodes. We are about to start the Egypt arc, where we're really good. We've made some progress.
They're actually going to Egypt now. Also, they have a Patreon now.
Oh yeah, we have a Patreon now.
Patreon.
Well,
not. Sorry, I meant to say Potted Greed has a Patreon. We do not.
Yeah.
We are not there. We do not have 100 episodes. This is just a small baby podcast. If Dan wants to use some of his funds from Potted Greed for this, I won't tell anyone. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, you can support me financially by donating to that Patreon, so do that. Give me your money.
Poggers!
You can also find my Twitter on the link tree and my comedy blog at Xbox_holiday. You can find my art blog and so on and so forth. Morg, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Haunting the Morg. That's Haunting the MORG. You can also find me on another podcast, at least for another month. Wow, Cool Robot, a Gundam Watch podcast, where, yeah, I'm the co-host for Mobile Suit Gundam, the first one, 0079. I just forgot the number for a second. I might be back, so definitely listen to all my stuff. Just listen to the show. Just keep listening. Might come back. Might be there again. It's a good show, folks.
And as we always end our episodes, Sonic is real, he is strong, and he is my friend.
He's the only blue life that matters.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.